Hello, my and welcome to another episode of In My Opinion by Uli. I'm your host, Uli. Welcome. Um, excuse me. Have you ever found yourself in a conflict with a loved one and struggled to navigate it with compassion? Have you ever found yourself in that? Okay, so let's turn these tough moments, okay, into opportunities for deeper connection and understanding. Okay. Navigating conflict in relationship without compassion often leads to a multitude of challenges that actually can hinder connections. One common knowledge that I know is the tendency to always be right over understanding the other person's feeling and perspective. And this approach can escalate lots of conflict in a relationship and turning them into battles of ego, rather than the opportunities of maybe having this mutual understanding with one another or having this mutual understanding with each other. Another challenge that we have in relationship is the challenge is a lack of active listening. When individuals or when any of us are focused on defending their own positions without truly listening to each other or to one another. And that's when communication breaks down. Communication is all about understanding the other person's feelings. That's what communication is all about. And this can lead to misunderstanding. This can create a cycle of unsolved issues and also unresolved issues. Emotional When we get emotional, it's always there's this significant hurdle that we have to go through when emotions are high, when we often like taking a back seat in our relationship. It leads to hurtful words. This conflict, it can lead to hurtful words, and the actions can actually deepen the rifts or the issue at hand rather than mend it. This behavior that we observe, this behavior that we observe in relationships in terms of conflicts, it can it's an inability, like I would say, it's an inability to manage our emotions effectively in stressful situations. Trust me, relationship, no matter the relationship, if it's more parent relationship, children relationship, partner relationship, work relationship, it depends. And it's always very stressful to get to know the other person and to actually understand the other person. And it's always very stressful in this kind of situation when we cannot resolve the conflict and when we have those situations unresolved. There is always a tendency that the other person's feelings and or the other person's experiences, we cannot actually validate it. When we dismiss someone else's emotions, it can not help us validate their perspectives, and it also helps in escalating the issue, eroding trust and the respect in the relationship. These are the challenges that we face. These are the challenges that we face. Unresolved conflicts or unresolved challenges that we have in relationship can build resentment over time. So that is why it is wise for us to resolve that issue, that time when the conflict is not addressed with compassion, when it's not addressed with understanding, they can fester, they can be there without you knowing, and it can create a sense of bitterness and distance between individuals. As I've said, that the relationship can be anything: work relationship, anywhere, friendship, um, partnership, parent relationship, anything, family relationship, anything at all. This resentment can weaken the foundation of the relationship, making further conflicts even more challenging to resolve. Okay? When it comes to when it comes to resolving relationship without compassion, it only fails to address the immediate issue, one, and also tends to give this your long-term health relationship, it gradually downgrades it. It gradually puts it down because of the resentment inside, because of how it tends to fester. By recognizing these common challenges, all right, by recognizing them, one, then that is when we can begin to cultivate a more compassionate approach to conflict resolution in our relationship. And then we can, from there we can foster healthier connections by building empathy and understanding our partners and understanding each other and understanding one another, and also having this mutual respect for one another or each other in any relationship that we are in. Okay, so when it comes to resolving conflict with compassion, there are three ingredients that can help. Okay, and these three ingredients have talked about it earlier. I talked about empathy, have talked about active listening, and have talked about open communication. These are the three ingredients that can help in resolving conflict with compassion. Okay, firstly, let's talk about empathy. Empathy is like the glue that holds the relationship together during tough times. It's about stepping into the other person's shoes. It's about understanding their feelings and showing that you genuinely care about how they are affected, that issue and that challenge is actually affecting them, or the problem at hand. When we approach problems with empathy, when we approach conflict with empathy, we create a space where both parties feel valued, okay, and understood. I told you communication, the end of communication is understanding. When you understand your partner, when you understand your your the other party, which sets the stage for constructive dialogue. When you are calm, when you are when you tend to have this empathy, put yourself in the person's shoes. That is when you don't always have to say you are right. Not always. Active listening is another game changer. It's not just about hearing words. No, listening is understanding what the person is saying, and it's also about truly absorbing what the other person is saying, their emotions. For example, their concerns, for example, their needs. This means putting aside your own agenda, okay? Just for a moment, just that moment, just calm down and listen to the person, and giving the other person your greatest attention, your full attention. When we practice this, it's not a one day thing, but when you tend to tell yourself that I have to actively listen to what this person is saying, we signal respect and openness with the person, and we are trying to pave the way for mutual understanding and problem solving. That is one aspect. And another, the last one is about open communication. Open communication is where there is a bridge. This bridge that connects empathy and active listening. Open communication is the bridge that connects empathy and active listening. It's about being honest and transparent. It's about being what's that word? There's this word when you tend to feel if I get that word, I'll say it. Sometimes the word just escapes from my mind. It's about being honest and transparent. It's about expressing our thoughts and feelings clearly while um while being receptive to feedback. You don't just listen or hear words um just to tell the person your mind. You listen to actually listen to the person and empathize with the person's needs, with the person's concerns. Open communication encourages a free exchange of ideas, and it also helps prevent misunderstanding. Okay, all these all these strategies, it's it this it's also helps, all the strategies helps in resolving it with compassion, resolving conflicts with compassion, depending on how the conflict is, depending on how the problem is. And all this helps to prevent misunderstanding from getting bigger, from get it helps the problem, it helps prevent misunderstanding. I'm trying to look for my words. It's trying to help prevent misunderstanding from getting the conflicts bigger. I'm so sorry. It's about creating it's about creating this environment where both parties feel safe. It's about how you express yourselves without fear of judgment or retaliation. Remember, you are calm. You are keeping a good and open mind in the conversation, in the deep dialogue you're having with the next party. Together, these three elements, empathy, active listening, open communication, they form a very, very powerful tool for resolving conflicts with compassion. And this helps us, it helps us with our egos, or at least we all have egos, but there are some that go over the moon, I would say. But once in a while, our egos come out. But it's how to tame it. It helps with our egos. It helps us move past all our egos. It helps us move past all our insecurities, and it also foster this deeper connection and strengthening relationship in the process. So next time you find yourself, okay, my lovelies, next time you find yourself in this in any disagreement in your relationship with someone you care about, be it at work, be it in your family, be it your partner, be it in your relation, that there are different types of relationships. Remember the importance of empathy. Remember to put yourself in their shoes. Remember to practice active listening. Always remember to listen to understand, not just to respond, not just to respond. And it will always embrace open communication. You have to share your thoughts openly and encourage them to do the same, not by manipulation, not what you tend to bring out from the person to use against the person. No, that is not compassion. That is not compassion. When you encourage them to do the same, you are open. You have it is an open communication. That is a dialogue that is a deep conversation that you want to have with your partner. By approaching these conflicts with these qualities, we not only solve problems but also nurture bonds that can actually withstand the test of time. As I said earlier, empathy, active listening, open communication. That's it. Okay, let me share a story with you. A while back, a close friend, a close friend of mine, and I had I had a disagreement with a close friend of mine, and it started about plans we had made, and our emotions quickly escalated. I was defensive and focused on proving my point, actually, but which only made things worse. But then I took a step back and I thought how much our friendship meant to me. Yes, that is how you have to take a step back. I said it earlier, just take a step back. Instead of letting pride, ego, or my insecurities get in my way, I decided to reach out with a message, acknowledging her feelings and expressing my own without blaming or accusing. I genuinely listened to her side of her story, trying to understand where she's coming from. This shift, right? In this shift in approach that I made use of opened up a space for us to talk openly and honestly. Yes, the word is being vulnerable. That was the word I was looking for. Vulnerability. Through that conversation, we both realized that the conflict or the problem wasn't about who was right or wrong, but about our different perspective and the importance of respecting each other's feelings, right? That is how it was. We found common ground by focusing on our shared values of honesty and mutual respect. That is it. By the time we finished talking, right, we only resolved the initial issue, but also deepened our friendship. That's how you make new friends, old friends. That's how you can resolve conflict. That's how you can resolve lots of problems through communication. Our bond grew stronger, yes, because we had faced a challenge together with compassion and understanding. And at the long run, it taught me that sometimes the most meaningful outcomes in relationship come from approaching conflict with an open heart and a willingness to listen. Just put away your pride. Don't listen to respond, listen to understand. That's what I did. So if you find yourself in a very, very similar situation that as I did, remember that navigating conflict with compassion or navigating your problems with compassion in a relationship can actually lead to positive outcomes that strengthen the connection that matter most. Okay? Look, my lovelies, navigating relationship conflicts or problems compassionately boils down to a few key strategies. I will say it again. Lead with empathy. Practice active listening, okay, and communicate openly and honestly. And communicating openly and honestly is when you are vulnerable. That is when you put yourself in their shoes. That is when you begin to have empathy. Open communication and being honest. This is the strategy that brings about the empathy and active listening. These strategies they are not just about resolving the issue at hand. They're about preserving, for the long run, preserving and strengthening your relationship for the long run. When we approach conflicts with compassion, we build trust. When we approach conflict with compassion, we deepen understanding. When we approach conflict with compassion, we foster mutual respect. It's not always easy, as I said it. You have to calm down, my lovelies. You have to calm down. It's not always easy, but the benefits are for the long run. It's for the future. It's the benefits are very, very profound. It can foster closer connection, improves communication. You can also have this sense of emotional security, knowing that the both parties, you and your partner, you and the person that you're having problems with, are committed to working through challenges together. So, my lovelies, next time, next time conflict arises, not that I want any conflict to arise. Mm? But next time conflict or any problem arises, remember the strategies, okay? Just remember them. They can turn moments of tension into um, the opportunity for growth and deeper connection. All right? If you have a story, my lovelies, if you have a story, all right, about navigating relationship conflict, you can share it. Share it in the comments below, please. I would love to hear it. I would love to see. I would love to. I would love to see what other ways you can use in resolving conflict, or ways you have used in resolving conflict. And don't forget to subscribe, okay, for more tips on building stronger connections, all right, and fostering healthier relationships together. All right, my lovelies. Right. So remember, when it comes to relationships, compassion can be your greatest ally. Whether it's with your friends, whether it's with your family, whether it's your partners, whether it's at work, whether your colleagues, approaching conflicts with empathy and understanding each other can lead to a stronger bond and deeper connection. All right, my lovelies, keep practicing the skills, all right? And watch your relationship flourish. Yes, to a more meaningful connection and smoother sailing ahead. Okay. All right, my lovelies. Until next time, stay calm, all right? And stay blessed. Bye.